Have you ever realized that there is a deep inner stillness that precedes everything that we experience, an awareness? And it's always there, because without it, we would not be able to experience anything. It's kind of this container for which all of experience is happening within. And a lot of times we lose touch with this awareness because we are too busy living from the thoughts and the emotions within our own mind. Because what happens is we become aware of something. We see something, hear something, and then we immediately start thinking about that. And we see our thoughts about that experience as being reality, the labels and judgments that we give it. But in truth, reality is the objective experience that happens before we assign the labels and judgments to it. Before we need to categorize it with our mind, judge it as being good or bad or whatever it is. The mind is a meaning-making machine, if you will. It is always assigning meaning. It's its job to try and protect us and familiarize us with the past. But if you can come back to your awareness that is always there, that inner stillness, you get back in touch with life, with reality itself. And this is the essence of meditation. Meditation is about returning to awareness and observing ourself and the internal and external experience that we're having. Returning to the truth of who we are, which is that inner stillness, which is not separate from God, consciousness, source energy, universe, whatever you want to call it. And so this is the source of inner peace, of inner wisdom, of creation, manifesting, And so if we want to return back to this, we have to stop living from the mind. And what it means to live from the mind is to automatically react to our thoughts and emotions rather than being the awareness behind them, observing them as thoughts and emotions. What makes it very difficult to begin living from awareness is the compulsive living that we engage in each day through technology, through overstimulation, overindulgence, living on autopilot. And again, this is where meditation comes in, because it's the intentional practice of sitting with yourself, not reacting to your emotions. It doesn't mean you stop thinking. The mind is probably always going to be going, but it means that you are not engaged with the mind. You are simply watching it like a movie, like you're watching me on your screen right now. In fact, that's a good metaphor. If you see me on your screen, I am not the screen. I am that which is appearing on the screen. And if you change videos or whatever, what happens on the screen is going to change. But the screen will always be there. The same is true with awareness. It's the screen of consciousness that everything is just appearing on. And just because you shut your phone off or your computer off doesn't mean the screen is gone. The screen is still there. There's just nothing on it right now. So see yourself as the screen of awareness or consciousness, that everything that you experience, including your thoughts right now, whatever you're thinking or feeling, is happening within or on. It's a screen of consciousness. And if you can return back to the screen of consciousness, of stillness, of inner calm within yourself, you return back to the truth of who you are, as I said, and you experience more inner peace. You don't feel the need to force or strive or fight your way to get something, because all of that comes from your mind, your fear-based, scarcity-based mind, that things aren't enough the way they are, we need more to be content, or whatever that is. And that is what causes much of our suffering in life. It's very simple. to transcend that suffering. It is simply being here and now within yourself, within that dimension within yourself that watches. Pure observation. The more that you can practice meditation, the more that you can separate yourself from your thoughts and emotions, no longer reacting to them compulsively. And the more that we live compulsively, the less conscious control we have over ourselves. And we are the only constant in our lives. To not have a sense of mastery over ourselves, our mind, body, our emotions, especially our internal world, is to really miss out on life. We go through life without having mastery over the one thing that is constant, which is us. Everything else is coming and going. So get in touch with that which is unchanging, which is awareness. It will truly change your life, because through awareness, you return back to that inner peace, that still point. And remember, it is always there. It is unchanging. It is the one unchanging thing in life. Whenever you're experiencing a hard emotion or something outside of you, an inconvenience, watch your thoughts. There's always the awareness before the thought. Be the awareness. One of my favorite practices to work on this is to practice sitting with my urges, just being aware of them and observing them. Because the more that we give into our urges, the more that we feed certain thoughts and emotions, the more real they become within our mind and in our awareness, the more we compulsively and automatically will react to them moving forward. It's like a muscle that we strengthen within ourselves. That is a way of being. And you have the choice of how you want your life to be lived, your way of being, whether that's consciously or unconsciously or on autopilot. It is very simple, but through returning back to consciousness, you come back to peace, abundance, love, compassion, everything, wisdom, and more connected with intuition, which is always guiding you. So we're always strengthening something within ourselves, whether that is living consciously or living unconsciously. Every moment, you have the choice by just being still. If you can still your body and just breathe, pay attention to your breath, you begin to down-regulate, you begin to come back to yourself. But when we're constantly stimulating our mind, compulsively scrolling our phones, overindulging in different things, simple pleasures, to distract ourselves, running away from boredom, we're not going to be conscious in life. And in not being conscious, we're going to be ran by thoughts and emotions and fears, and we're going to wonder why life is so hard, because it doesn't have to be hard. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. We go through life and we're going to experience hardships, loss, grief, and that hurts. The suffering that we experience comes through our mind and the way that we perceive things. And if we can begin to come back to awareness, that which watches, doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, but we don't create more suffering for ourselves in life. And whatever context that looks like, just know that you can always return back to awareness. Meditation is the practice of returning back to awareness. And daily mindfulness, every day, slowing down, pausing with your urges, brings you back to your awareness. Because without awareness, there is no experience. So, hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next video.